Why not?
Why not, right? That's the good one I've heard of.
Yeah.
Probably have to do like merman. Yeah.
Merman on land.
Merman on
I like to change to legs when I got on.
Here we go. My bad. Tape it down. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's chill. Let's. It's cool, they're cheap. That's what makes them fun. Huh? Sticky feet.
Yeah. I thought it's not stable without the tape.
Yeah.
In my life, like talking all day long is not like here. Also because I smoke, you know, so that in combination with being on all day, I lose my voice for every day. And so last night I was like
You're checking out.
yeah, my body.
There we go.
Oh,
Looking good?
yeah.
Alright. Cool. And then
And stop.
table closer.
So I got frustrated with that last night. I was like, I'm gonna listen to my body.
Cool, cool.
And it was wonderful. I had
Alright,
a
yo.
big long-
We're up. I just want to get the stream on their website,
Yes.
and then we'll be good.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Now we are
That was what I wanted to do as well.
this much space, and then you go upstairs, and then it's that much space again. It's like
ライブドローイング始まるんですね。
どういう仕組みかよくわかんないけど、
セッティングして
セッティングしてくれる。
Yeah? Cool, right?
Wow. And then
no, actually, I have a friend who.
There we go. Let's see.
I'm going like places that.
That's on YouTube.
wow. It's online?
But it has to be on a date. It got complicated.
There's some kind of
Online.
interaction is like involved now. It's like it's involved. Yeah. Okay, so.
Very cool.
どうすごい
4画面にそ so you divide the 4.
Uh-huh.
ああ、すごいですね。
Now in front of your car.
Thank you.
どんな大きさにでも。
すごいな。
すごい。で、青バッグで合成できる。
すげえ。マリちゃんも入ろう。すごい。
Oh, very cool.
ナルート君の T シャツ。
これナルートじゃないんですよ。違うかね。あれフィンランドかどっかの。
コラボがどうか。
でしょ。でもすごい作品良かった。なんかパーセルってところで展示やってて。
どこや。
違う。展示会場で。
You ready to party?
I think so.
What do I need to do?
I don't know. It's live. It's on air.
Can I
Maybe.
introduce?
Yeah. Do you want to?
What should I say?
Oh, what would you like the introduction?
Introduction.
Yeah.
Any
Maybe
introduction?
yeah. Maybe the two of you can right up here. Yeah. Like
Right up here.
yeah. Yeah, and then you go to the back. Let me record. Very, very cute. And then let me
So I can say, and now presentation of art by Kagami. Beautiful.
alright. I love
Hello,
it.
welcome to 8-Ball TV Live, Day 3 from 16 Gallery. Ladies, germs, and everybody in between, please get ready for a presentation of art by Hima.
Hey.
How are you? 16? 8-ball TV. How can I introduce myself? Should I do rapid drawing?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. That's the best way to introduce yourself. Yeah. Cool. Let's do it. Yeah, you can do both. Go up there. Cool, cool, cool.
Music should be turned off. ちょっと下げていただく感じです。ありがとうございます。素敵じゃん。
Very cute. Here we go. You should show, yeah, show them off right here. Huh? Very cute.
浮いてるの？
浮いてる。リクエストあり、リクエスト。
OK。
いい？
リクエスト？
リクエストいいの？ He can try anything that you guys want.
Ooh, pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah. Really missing pizza. There we go. Energy. Yes. You do tiger.
Tiger.
Yeah.
もうこれ落語の大喜利みたいな。
Yes. Beautiful. Spitting image.
A rocket ship.
Rocket ship?
Rocket?
Rocket.
Yeah.
Skateboard.
Rocket?
Yeah.
Skateboard.
Skateboard.
Yeah.
あ、スケートボード。ロケット。チンコじゃん。
Okay, last one.
Last one?
Last one.
Great rocket ship.
You should draw basil. Basil? We gotta get a portrait in there.
Hey.
Perfect. So good. Alright. Very good. Thank you. Energy. We should hang them up. It looks very good. Big fan. Very, very good. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about each of them. Could we? Should we talk? Alright. So, yeah. Tell us about this one.
This one, everyone.
Ooh, here we go. Alright, we're up here.
Everyone likes this.
Yeah.
Like this.
This one?
Money.
Yeah, everyone likes money. Energy. One's pretty fun. Alright, and then these ones.
Nature.
Nature. That spinning image. Too much city life, maybe? Do you like going to nature?
Yes.
Yeah. I see, I see. Are you a city boy, or do you like the country?
Both.
Both? I see. Energy. Cool. So, should we talk a little bit about this one? Skateboard?
Rocket ship.
Rocket ship.
Rocket ship?
で、見ようて。何？ Skateboard.
Sit to the
It's a
side.
skateboard slash.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Rocket ship.
Versatility.
Little
Yeah. Take a ride. Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
So nasty.
So, who is this? Yeah.
これ誰？
I don't know.
Beanhead. Jelly bean.
Jelly bean.
And there we go. Yes. Fish?
Fish.
Everyone can draw.
Yeah.
Ah!
Very simple. I like
みんな
that
か
one.
ける。確かに。
Alright. Pizza.
Pizza.
What are the toppings? What are we,
topping
what are we looking
what?
at here? Tiny mushrooms.
Mushroom.
Yeah.
Salami.
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 Tiger.
Tiger.
めっちゃいい。
It's a good one.
Good one.
Yeah.
めっちゃいい。
Basil. Yeah. Yeah. We should do comparative. Basil, wait, you should get over here.
Yeah, she got that.
Yeah. Very good. Spinning image.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, dude. Pleasure. Yeah.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Follow him on Instagram. Thank you so much for stopping by. Cool. Cool. All right. So, I think we're moving on to Cool.
Wanna talk fiber?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. Oh wait, so I was gonna put your fibers under this right here. Is that okay?
Totally.
Cool, cool, cool. Over there.
4画面で。そうそう。
And a mom.
Cool. Thank you. Hi. All right.
Chill time, just before interview vibes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and draw off my tailbone.
Ah. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So we're up here. Let me get this ready. Sweet. All right. Here we go.
Can you put the fibers behind us too?
Ah, yeah, totally. Let me mimic it.
Oh my god, all the blue in my shirt gets keyed out.
That's really wild.
Copy.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That's so fun.
You are fibers.
My
fibers are becoming
the
me.
fibers of my being.
The fiber of my life. The fiber I'm lacking.
Good days.
It's been days of just.
Let's see. It's not letting me move it down.
Click the down, just click the down button.
Oh.
The down arrow.
Ah.
Can you just click the down arrow?
Let's see. Video 1. Paste reference. It keeps going back up.
I mean the one next to the gear.
結構な人見てる。
Wait, the one next to the. Oh, shit! Okay, word. Got you, got you. My dumb ass. Alright, remove.
最初の時とか3人ぐらいしかやってなかった。
Meanwhile, before I actually wrote
There we go.
Oh,
Sweet.
sick.
Out here. On the. You guys are gonna be like sitting on my hands.
I
as we're
really,
going through.
it's like we're sitting on.
a big rug that you have.
Excellent. Here we go.
This is so fun. Okay, cool.
Alright. Sweet. Alright.
My notebook disappears.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cool. Alright. I'm ready when you're ready. Are we recording? Yeah. Alright. Cool.
Hello, my name is Basil. I'm here with Gabbi Ortiz. Gabbi is a fiber artist from Philadelphia. We will cover.
Yeah. I can pull it up. Let me grab the microphone for you. Yeah.
つけてるやっぱり。インスピレーション。
Microphone is also keyed out.
Alright. Cool.
Hello and welcome. My name is Basil and I'm here with fiber artist and general
I don't know what to say.
visionary Gabbi Ortiz. And we're here to discuss art, life, practice, people, and the outdoors. How are you feeling today? Can you introduce yourself to the
Yeah.
crowd?
My name is Gabbi Ortiz. I'm a 28-year-old fiber artist studying at Philadelphia University doing his master's right now in Tokyo. So yeah, that's where I'm at. This is what I'm doing.
Where in Tokyo are you studying? What brings you to Tokyo?
So I'm actually in Tokyo right now studying at Temple Tokyo through the study abroad program, and the purpose of being here was to learn more about fibers, learn more about culture, and how those things intersect at the current place and moment, at least in my life, and how to then disseminate that into the world.
So you're 28. Have you always been an artist?
No, I would say that I've just been a person.
Right on.
Yeah, I just like people and I like hanging out, and I've always been somewhat creative, whether it be, using my hands, going outside. I enjoy just taking photos. I've always had a camera around my neck since I was a baby, so yeah. I would say no, but I guess pursuing profession now, yes.
Right on. Right on. When did you get interested in fiber art in particular?
Probably when I was 9 or 10, somewhere around those lines. I like to dress outfits together and put things in a certain way, and I spent an exorbitant amount of money when I was younger, unfortunately, and now I can't afford anything but other than fibers. So yeah, I've always somewhat been interested in fibers, and somehow it's manifested into this reality that I'm in right now.
Very, very cool. So what has your fiber art education sort of led you to as an artist?
Wool specifically.
Yesterday, Gabby and I talked about wool for about
It was 45 minutes.
it was like 45 minutes. We were talking about wool. Can you tell me again your ideas about wool? If you want to talk about Puerto Rico and wool,
Yeah,
that would be
absolutely.
amazing.
So wool is a really sustainable and it's a natural and sustainable fiber.
How is it sustainable, and what is it more sustainable than?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of other things that are sustainable.
Cool.
Yeah, it's I guess just what I chose and what I like leaned into. And
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, totally.
What's the worst fabric to wear?
Oh shit. In my opinion, satin. I can't handle the shimmy. The
Is it
shimmy
the
gloss.
static?
Yeah.
It feels bad.
It gets damp and yeah, things stick together. Yeah.
What's satin made of? Do you know?
It could be rayon. It could be a variety of
So
things.
it's like synthetic?
Yeah. It could be synthetic. Yeah, there's a variety of things that it can be made out of.
What else is horrible to wear?
I don't like to judge. That's for
I
everyone.
love that about you.
Yeah, I can't like not anything out of control because it's like what I appreciate is totally different than what you may like.
I appreciate that. So tell me more about wool.
Wool's a lovely thing. It grows on sheep. Yeah, it grows on a sheep. They're really cute when they're babies, and they're still really cute when they get older. Yeah, there's a really interesting process that it goes through from early development all the way through its mature life. You can cut the sheep at any point. Cut the hair of the sheep, not cut the sheep in
The
itself.
sheep doesn't get cut.
We don't want to cut sheep. That's not the plan. But yeah, the whole process is. It has a variety of ways to execute things. You can dye it using a variety of methods as well, and it just creates a really nice hand depending on how you prepare the fiber and
Say hand?
Yeah, hand.
Is
like
that
how
a
soft.
word?
Yeah, like that nice feeling that you get when you put on a comfy t-shirt.
That's the hand?
That's the hand.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah.
Fiber lingo.
Yeah, I'll drop some more. But yeah, there's so many ways to express, I guess, one's personal design or art through wool specifically. You can acid dye it, you can mordant dye it, you can natural dye a lot of
What are
things.
those three methods?
So acid dyeing is a chemical-based process. Mordant dyeing is kind of like indigo, and then natural dyeing, you can go pick some berries and stuff out, and just pick some pomegranates out and just throw it in that and call it a day. Yeah, it's right. There's a variety of things you can do just to the garment in it itself. Keeps you really warm in the winter. It can actually keep you really cool also in the summer. So yeah, there's a variety of things that I enjoy about wool specifically and how it gets mixed into the bunch. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Is that just like,
I mean, it's very exciting.
I'm excited about
And
wool.
it's great to hear
Yeah.
about.
Sweet. Hell yeah.
So, do you want to talk about wool, Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
And that
That
story
and
that
that
you told me
colonialism
yesterday?
aspect.
Starting with maybe starting with the crest of Puerto Rico and
Oh, shit.
maybe talking about your nice.
Sorry.
Maybe talking about your decolonizing design scene.
Yeah.
Does that
So
sound okay?
yeah, that's totally
Great.
fine. So on my shin, I have this tattoo. It is of the Puerto Rican crest, and it just happens to be sitting on a book. There's a little sheep right there, and then there just happens to be one of the flags that I guess was part of its identity before colonialism had come onto the island. Once there was that aspect of the Dutch East India Trading Company coming to the island, there was a big exchange in the market there where they would drop slaves off, they would pick up resources, and then continue throughout that process. Sheep are able to naturally develop and naturally do exist on the island, and that's where the homogenization and the difference of wool, I guess, around the world is. Australia produces 80% of the world's wool right now. Yeah, 80% is kind of
wild.
But it doesn't get processed in Australia at all. It gets sent to places like Japan, China, Turkey, for whatever reason. So with that being said, my hypothesis, rather, is, or my interest is to kind of bring a few sheep over from Australia, and it's been proven and it's been it's in the process of happening as we speak right now, but specifically seeing what merino wool can do in an environment like Puerto Rico and seeing what kind of evolutionary adaptations can happen to the fiber morphology specifically. So yeah, there was a huge aspect of resources being taken away in the process of Puerto Rico becoming developed over the course of like the past 200 years. And specifically with decolonizing design, there aren't a lot of designers or necessarily a lot of fiber artists that have been coming out of Puerto Rico. And that is an aspect that I hope to bring back to Puerto Rico specifically. And with the master's degree, I'll be able to teach and help people learn and knit and do whatever they want with fibers.
Why, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but why fiber arts over other arts?
I love clothes. I just love being able to make people comfortable, and that's the part of the aspect with wool that has given me some sort of comfort in and of itself. We all dress to kind of express ourselves to a degree, and if I can help provide an industry or a system where people are able to craft or design what they want from start to finish, I'd be super stoked on that.
Are there any fiber artists that you take a lot of inspiration from, or any artists of any medium, or any people of any sort of occupation that you take inspiration from?
So I get a lot of inspiration from photographers specifically, and the list could go on. Jan Gonzalez right now is a huge. I admire his work just because of I think how he shoots and his artistic just knowledge rather. There's a lot of contemporary artists, but James Turrell also. Yeah, he's super cool dude. He works with a lot of color and he's a psychologist technically. Yeah, he's a psychologist technically and somehow creates these crazy architectural installations and bends how you see color and light in crazy ways. So I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, tons of architecture. I don't know, I dabble in this interdisciplinary aspect of being inspired by architecture, interior design, photography. The whole gamut really is something that I appreciate because textiles are kind of everywhere. It's kind of necessary to understand how to work with fibers even in space, specifically trying to apply them. So yeah, I get inspired by a lot of different things. Even like new environments and new cultures are super important to me.
I'm sure that you can ask this, and it's probably like a pretty corny question, but
No,
has
it is.
being in Tokyo affected the way you think about cloth, or has it given you any sort of inspiration that you can name?
Yeah, so I think that was a big thing, having worked for a menswear brand here specifically.
interesting.
Yeah, so I was working for Comic Quarter Maker shirts, so they've been around since right after World War II, making men's dresswear. Yeah, men's dresswear inspired by Ivy League aesthetics.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're really into like the whole
Have you seen
UPenn.
the Take Ivy book?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Take Ivy book, that's like part of my required reading, and there's also this David Marks book that just released called Amaretta, which is how the Japanese saved American style. Yeah, it's such a mouthful, but it went into a lot of the historical accounts of how during World War II the Americans obviously after Hiroshima and after the whole war were left with really being able to supply and provide the Japanese with a way and a sensibility to kind of assimilate into a modern way. So there was that huge aspect, and there really wasn't a lot of opportunity because of the lack of resources after the war in Japan for them to develop their own process. And after that, they obviously take a lot of inspiration from all over the world, have adopted it in their own way, and have regurgitated it so that the rest of the world really appreciates it. And craft is where I knew going into Japan, craft was like a huge thing, but I'd never really been able to see it firsthand until I got here. And that aspect of craft and design and making it beautiful and artistic to a degree is almost like everyday poetry. So, yeah, right? It's kind of cool. I mean, just being here is super inspiring. I highly recommend it if anyone ever gets a chance to go to Tokyo, and especially if you're into fashion. It'll just blow your noggin out.
Cool. I'm wondering if now, while nascent manipulating some of the pieces that you wove in the background. If you could talk about them
Yeah, totally.
while Mason moves them around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think is specifically, so most of these are jacquard-based woven fabrics that
What's jacquard?
So jacquard is an electronic weaving machine that is basically what you see industrial level fabric developed on. And a jacquard is kind of like an Epson printer to it.
Right on, great.
Yeah, yeah.
To zine makers, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really able to input a lot of different methodologies of how to execute fibers, and really woven specifically through structure. This is an image-based machine that is able to not only create dimension, create images, but it creates cloth primarily, and that's like how any high fashion label will start to develop their clothing. Yeah, purses, bags, apparel, the whole gamut, yeah. And yeah, a lot of the stuff that I use specifically from that is seen in what Mason's showing right now.
Get that back on there. Cool.
Yeah, a lot of it is cotton based right now, only because my instructors had specifically asked me not to use wool for at least 6 months.
I love that.
Yeah, so they're like, Gabby, no more wool for at least 6 months. I was like, are you sure? Like, sure I can't just like sneak something in. So I was able to sneak some in. There's, I think, one
There's a
black.
little wool in there.
There's a little wool in
I
there.
love that. Very subversive.
That's what my teachers call me. So yeah.
Can you tell the story of the? Oh, Mason, can you return to that piece with the orange detail? Can you tell me again the story of that symbol?
Yeah, totally. So this symbol is representative of early Philadelphia when Benjamin Franklin and the rest of his posse, gang, crew, whatever you may want to call it, was setting up Philadelphia, and because of the architecture, it was really prone to a lot of fires. If this symbol was outside of your house, you would be allowed to have the firefighters basically save your house. And in a lot of low economic areas, they wouldn't be able to pay or afford the symbol. So the firefighters would show up, they'd try to find the symbol, and if they couldn't, then
You just let your house burn
yeah,
down.
they just look at it and toast some marshmallows over it. Unfortunately.
There it is.
Yeah, so there's that.
Cool. Mason, can we see the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there she is. There's my wool. Yeah.
Feels nice.
I
I
forget.
wish everyone watching could touch that because it just feels the hand.
There you
that's a
go.
good
My
thing.
nasty
You know
ass
what that
fingers.
sounds like? Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a double cloth woven.
What does that mean?
So double cloth is 2 layers of warp interchanging,
Cool.
and that's like how you start to create dimensionality. So it's reversible in nature. So if you flip that over, boom, look at that. It's gray on one side, black on the other.
Sorry. I'm not doing the best at doing this.
But that piece specifically, I think, is one of my favorites. I really try to mix a lot of dimensional aspects of fabric with images as well. So like the first one that you'd seen was primarily image-based graphic, whereas this one is a little bit more dimensional. And again, the wool has such a variety of things that it lends itself to. Comfort, warmth, breathability, stain repellent as well. And yeah, it's something I love. I absolutely love it.
In the circle in the square, the design of the doors, is it sort of it looks like a camera.
It does look like a camera, yeah. I forget which artist I took the inspiration from, but this actually was a woven that I worked with on with another industrial designer to create a couch.
Very cool.
Yeah. So he made this really awesome installation piece for the museum, so that you could actually sit on it. And he was like, Gabby, I really want this something to be resilient, and obviously because I love wool, and wool can get kind of beaten up. And it's wool. It's just gotta be wool. Yeah, we developed that pattern, and I ended up just just making the fabric and covering it.
That's super sick. Can we see the third one?
So yeah, same.
Oh, this one's so dynamic.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah, I love shadows, I love gradients, and I love black and white. Again, cotton. As fortunate as I am to work with it. Yeah, it's cool. I love the little subtle gradient between each of the arms, and again, same symbol from the first woven fabric that we see, but that detail that you get in the hands and the little nails and stuff like that is pretty hard to get if you're trying to hang. You'd be sitting there for ages.
Explain to me the difference between working with wool and working with cotton.
So yeah, there's obviously cotton is a plant-based fiber. Wool comes from an animal. There's a variety of different processes that you have to use in order to prepare the yarn for a woven or knitted piece. Obviously, fiber length and fiber diameter is going to contribute a great deal. And where and the way that it weaves is obviously going to be completely different. One's a little bit more smoother, wool's much hairier in nature. It has all these hairs kind of protruding off of the main core of the fiber in and of itself. So it becomes, hand weaving with wool becomes a lot more challenging compared to cotton, based on a variety of factors of how it's spun. So how the yarn is spun plays a huge factor in how it's easy or how great it is of an experience to weave with. Yeah.
Let's see if I have any of these heady questions that I was listening to.
Oh shit, how heavy are we talking? I'm a little hungover still.
Oh, what's your weaving routine? When you're making a piece, what do you, how do you start, how do you middle, and how do you finish?
Okay, so I was talking to Lisa, I knew about this yesterday. We were talking
I
about
want the people to know.
Okay, sweet. So because of how physically exhausting weaving can be, I never experienced that up until having to start it. I've had to do a lot of like body preparation for it, and I have to get somewhat limber, and there is a lot of strength that goes into it. So usually in the morning I'll go for a run, go for a bike ride to kind of help my body get ready for the actual weaving or to prepare the actual fiber in of itself. And from there, I'll get to the studio usually around 7:30, 8 in the morning. And if I'm starting a project, I'm going to start looking at color, I'm going to start creating somewhat of an image, mood board kind of a thing, really loose though. And from there, I start pulling threads out. And it's a giant board that you can use to start basically wrapping as much yardage as you can. That's kind of the first step. Second step is you take all that yarn off, mount it on the ring, and then you start basically pressing it down, pulling through, slashing it, and then ultimately tying on so start the weaving process. In that act of starting to prepare the movements or deciding the decisions that you want to make, just like harness plans, how you want the treadle to be, and they teach you that totally an analog way. Software that helps me kind of take the weaving process together. I take the software and I define where I'm at in life, whether it's like at a coffee shop or at a trail. Because I get inspired so much throughout nature and just like through my travels as well, I'll think of some symmetry somewhere in the world, and I'm like, oh wait, that'd be interesting to focus on doing that same action in my heart. Yeah, so when I went to the James Turrell exhibit up in Minnesota.
Oh my god, I have friends that were there from Virginia.
Such a great exhibit. Never been to Minnesota, seen James Turrell. Yeah, a lot of his work inspires me, so I try to find out what it is to kind of begin using color specifically. How does it have a create construction? Yeah, I sat in one of his exhibits exposed to flowers, kind of doing a draft of what I thought might have been interesting. Drove another 6 hours back to Philadelphia and started pulling, I think, almost 1,000 ends out, which is roughly, almost like, yeah, it's 32, yeah, 32 ends is in an inch. Divide 1,000 ends by 32, and that's how long it is. I'm not going to do the math off the top of my head because I can't really do it. I need a calculator for it, but it's like 30 inches, almost wide, and when you start creating,
It's like a meter.
So that's what it's.
yeah, there you go. For those who are using visuals.
That's what.
Yeah, and then depending on how you start doing it, if you have 2 leaves, which is opportunities to weave other fibers together, yeah, you can start to create fabric. Yeah, so I can go up to 60 inches wide, and that's how you start creating blankets. So yeah, there's a variety of things for me in my day, specifically the process, and then the act of going through the middle part is probably the most mind-bending aspect of it because you're committing to one idea and then changing your mind halfway through doesn't necessarily fly. Yeah, it's not like a piece where you're like, it's like this, it's just gonna, or to press the delete button, it's like I'm done with this. Yeah, you've gone through so much, you've gone through like almost days of preparation.
What else is, like, what other short form requires so much commitment? I can't think.
I don't, knitting is not as committed as reading.
Yeah.
You can just like pull the thread and call it a day, whereas reading you have thousands of ends that you pull out and it's still done.
I do a lot of
And you're like, this yarn, it might have it, it's not working. So there is a lot of waste that goes in the process of it, and that's one aspect of my craft that I've really tried my best at maybe. I don't enjoy it really that way. Yeah, my house has just like yarn in a specific room right now. Yeah, so you gotta, there's a lot of commitment to weaving, and you're just sitting there kind of just beating, and it's a repetitive practice of how you press a certain all of it together. And at the end, that's probably the best feeling. The work off, and you get to like tie little tassels at the end, or however, there's so many different ways people change their patterns. But yeah, it's very, very engaging throughout the whole process. It's exhausting because there is an action and muscle that you have to use throughout that whole process, and it is completely body oriented.
I actually am so glad that you said that because I wanted to spend our last few minutes talking about the connection between weaving and the body and how there's dance and performance on one hand, and on the other hand there's culture, and then sort of in the middle, in my mind, there's weaving, like an art form that requires how, and you are an outdoors person, and you engage with your own body and its abilities,
totally.
biking super far and hiking and shit. How does it, you have thoughts on your connection to the body, weaving and the body now?
No, absolutely. So I've suffered quite a number of accidents in my life because of biking, and I wanted to find a profession that was not as low impact on my lifestyle necessarily, and I did not expect weaving to be such a high impact.
It seems chill. If you think it's chill,
you think it's gonna be chill when you're just like, oh, let me weave and feed this, but it's such a literally you're taking the weave and you're
because it's like a weave and then it's like
so you open the shed up, you're able to toss the shed.
But I feel like I'm just like, my fingers
So you open the shed up, like translate themselves.
they all have original meanings in English that are not totally separate, but like separate enough.
Yeah.
It's again, everyday poetry.
thing. So you open it up, you shoot the shuttle across the warp, and then you have this like this yarn that's in the middle of all the fibers, and then you pack it down, and then that's what starts to create a pattern. Just the act of that repetitive motion works a lot of your upper body, and then the sequence of treadling, which is like almost an is something that you kind of have to remember as well. So there's the act of the body working and weaving, there's the act of the mind remembering the sequence. No, but I wish I did. I can see it. I can totally see it.
It's all of your limbs and
Yeah, I wish I could see that much more students.
Honestly, God, I bet that meeting that you sound like I bet that was your moving ability. I bet that it would be
Yeah, I mean, I didn't kind of consume your meeting. I'll have to myself around the meeting, and I'll just get lost. I'll just remember like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 5, 4, 6. Like, there's just a variety of days. And I'll just call it a day. Like 3 hours later, I gotta like stand up and like push it. Just rock out so hard. I just like wove a yard of fabric for those 3 hours or whatever. However much I got. So yeah, I mean, there's a big translation between how I work outdoors, how I come into the studio, and then continue to use my body throughout the whole day. And that's, for me, that's probably the best way to exhaust myself at the end of the day. Just go outside, go for a bike ride, go skate for a little, go run for a dog, because he's the best. So literally can't take him with him. And then go inside and probably hang out by the pool most days. Yeah, we get to hang out a lot. We get to hang out a lot at home, and that's probably the best part is I can create some quality in my day, especially Thank you
so much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you guys. I was stoked to meet you guys at the art book fair last week.
Oh, we met at the Tokyo Art Book Fair. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the good people before we sign off about projects, events, website, Instagram?
Yeah, go visit my Instagram. It's just, I guess, it's my time of day. Not daily. It's more updated here because I'm in Tokyo and it's fun. Other than that, go outside, go engage with nature. Like, that's what's most important. Go hug your friends. Go love people. Yeah, seriously. Like, oh, and buy less clothes. Yeah.
There you have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Basil.
That was a great interview.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You were awesome too. Oh shit.
That was a clean 29-27.
Hey,
That's one bumper on the end.
There we fucking go. Thank you so much, dude. That was so.
Wow, guys.
I loved being your hand model. I apologize that
The
I
ASMR
appreciate it. It's
happening
like,
was like really living.
yeah, ASMR. I just showed them what ASMR is. I was like, that's how it feels. Like,
That's honestly.
And thank you for bringing your amazing work.
yeah.
Of course, I'm glad.
I like this setup, like the close-up.
Close-up setup, like, and it worked really well for having the art, the drawings, and then the fiber.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was awesome. I want to do more stuff like that with Equal TV because that felt really good.
Excellent. Yeah, no, you were amazing. Have you done a lot of interviews?
No,
Wow.
You should do more. That would be great.
I am now planning on it.
Well, you guys have great chemistry in front of the camera. Yeah, every sign.
I think that you brought a lot of it. I think that you are really. You said it. I just said it a couple seconds ago. But I really mean it.
Thank you.
You
I
offer a
appreciate
lot
it.
and bring a lot of energy.
You did too. I mean, you just laid it down. I was like, let me pick this up. Hand you some.
Oh, what's up, dude?
Dope.
How you doing, man? Good to see you. Cheers.
I will have to leave you guys some pieces when I get back to New York.
Oh my god, that would be so. That would be beyond, absolutely beyond. I'll send you some poetry in return.
Yes. I'll weave it into my stuff.
That would be so much.
Right? It's really wild. Just it transcends paper into cloth.
Yeah. I wish. Cool. Do you wanna play some Japanese video art? Or was there somebody else who was going?
We're gonna do like what's going on right now? I'm just gonna play that right now.
Okay.
Alright, excellent.
I'm going to work this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Working place. Oh my god, okay, cute.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Cool. Maybe we'll do like 10, 15. Jump in there. Alright, sweet. Cool. And then we can start loading up tracks on you and stuff. Yeah, cool. Is your phone?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sweet. Alright.
お子さんが可愛くて、お疲れ。ありがとうございます。違うんですよ。みんな言うんですけど違うんですよ。
でやばいぐらいの眠気で High Maybe this is your mind 朝のララバイ Hey Woo! いや、もうこれ始まってる
もう始まったほんまこれ
Are we? Don't worry.
シンプルなレイトにシンプルなワード16カットのパート
We haven't started yet, right?
No. Sweet. I was like, oh shit, we're starting. Okay, we're good. All right.
Is this camera?
Recording? Yeah, there's extra audio.
He was drinking beer.
Yeah, a little red in the face.
酔っ払い子は
Gotcha. Alright, let me just,
あ、OK. He's ready.
okay, just give me 2
あ、
seconds.
どうぞ。どうぞ。
いやいやいやあ、いい感じです
ちょっと今ボリューム上げたんで。
ああ、いいですね。
Alright,
ちょっとしたかったから。はい。
あ、抜けてるね、やっぱ。ここ、ロゴ。青いロゴ抜けてる。
Oh, oops. This, that. Here we go. All right, cool. Just wanted to get this other angle on here. Straight. Cool.
So sick.
All right, yo. We're good. I don't know what. Ready to go? Yeah. Do you want to do a quick intro? Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
自分の紹介できる。
English?
うん。日本語とイングリッシュで。
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, yo. Ready when you're ready?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
はい。や、ready?
Yeah, we're good.
I'm Nazca. Yeah, I'm a rapper and DJ based in Tokyo. Yeah, come to my ride. Thank you.
いきますよ、じゃあ。
はい。Yeah, yeah, hey, なんでもいい、なんでもいい、なんでもいいけど I'm a Japanese わずかな日差し、ぬるめのコーヒー、チーズに蜂蜜、あればハニーの願顔いい、やっぱ一番はそれがいい、TV つける Good morning 命ねまだにこっちを向いて Fucking video brain ここが定位置人生少しは覚えてと愛せ基地二人でチーリングまるでキリン昼までドリーミング広げて寝転びをリーは転んでばかり理由はないけどしてるラッピングラッピング朝からファンキーなバギー No say suck my dick とかかけるホリデーのビリーこぼれた笑顔が好きにウェカツマシリドアを開け好き日々のフェイルにはバイ緩めのさかなりやばいくらいの眠気で High Maybe this is your mind 朝のララバイ Hey Next shit Yo Yeah Hey, my name is Nazca. Hey, シンプルなビート、シンプルなワード、16パッドのアートフォーマット、ラウドなボイスは似合わねえやろ。チップシックなムードかもスノーマッド、テンションはロー、I don't say hello。寿司 is a roll は当たり前だろう。ネバー打つロー、it's my harvest。ベスト BGM でメディテーション。いらっしゃい、腰つきバカ力。しすぎのみ、お手つきは現金。目つきは誰気付けに代わりに選べは思いつかないな時にやっちまうかパクリこだわりもねえしさそれが確率ドハマりしても終われアグリ病は気体大きくあくび18 20 morning I get new booty no doubt ya party I'm crazy Bobby Nazy 18 change the rating 迎える20 7 in the morning I get new booty no doubt ya party You make it rapper I'm crazy Bobby Nazyもう一滴なしのボーリンかまってくれてもいいじゃんまだにナスってハードがナスバッなストーリーシャイなボーイは触れられない行為それってあるのは誰の行為週刊少年ジャンキーの飯がかぶってた少年 Y から Z から A に逆転イニシャルは N エクシェンジね買うビッグペン夢フィクシメン悪見つめ手をつめ現実でショーケースはデンシェスケールとスリーがきっとやばい橋渡ってるぜきっと後ろ髪引かれずにキーボーカーテンの隙間の光がキーボー18 change the rating 迎える20 7 in the morning I get new booty no doubt yeah Barry I'm ready Bobby Nazy 18 change the rating 27 in the morning Booty no doubt, yeah, party Ready rapper, I'm ready, Bobby Nazy 冬らす煙沈む夕日とした街のシムに Rhythm Army Beats はグラミー NAZ Brooks Bad to be me Chuck Strange is danger from PE たまに賢者いい気持ち TV D よりも PC Every time ゆとり見抜く瞳一人でも万里イケてるものは断固駆使するキュートシンブリンクネクストつなげるキーボー視界はパワー見た目はハードでも中身はソフト山崎パンのスプリングフェストコンビのゲストブランドベスフーズ俺らのテイストわかるやつイエスと言わずとも乗れるやつそれがベスト Hey Yo
続けて話します。言っちゃってもいいですか。続けちゃってます。そろそろ。あ、じゃあこれ次。そろそろ演じることに疲れた頃に飲みたいコーヒーが仕込む喉に踊り明かした夜を俺に任しなさい。目真っ赤夜は裸。定かじゃねえよスカスでナスかアクティング like a million times その汚ね指にトイラが立つよファミー6パスから6キー渡すバトン後ろからファントム赤いマントぶんちゃまするとボキャビネイトマジンすれば手に like a spawn フリーなフォルムのグラフよりもっと遊ぼう今日クロクロベンゾーかける兄弟逆に今日聞いて頭兄弟エソ出せないよセックスを出すタクシーメイクソでコンマレイヨ思考からはメイドマイクソフライローうねる音色誰も住んでリビドのためにステージの上じゃかぶるウィッグあなたいけないことを言えるミュージックも性格でも抜けるワンルームはダンスでゆっくりあるフーズで違
がたく弁当のカレー昼は半面進んで夜は半面やばいねクーゼレイで夜が剣を連れて動き出すゲーム今バッタと剣を連れてデンス一から半身愛エナは半身半身くらい少ない続く半身一体とがどれ塩ビな写真最後の日常にリミットは感じ My father は高い brother は高い山は寛大 mother は sunshine 俺はラッパーいっぱい歌油で何かが得るから生きてりゃハマるわなフィクションも変わらねえんだみたいな勘違いできたやつが書いたわな手絞ったフェシなライブはするな手の見汗メロはい乗せるみたい Hey This is last shit Yeah Thank you
Cheers, bro. Yeah. Thanks. It's really fucking good. It's fun as fuck. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, cheers. Feeling good about it? Yeah? Yeah. Nice. Good shit.
I think they're outside somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, of course, dude, of course. Yeah, what's up? How you doing? Movie and JPEG? Right. Sweet. Yeah, of course.
How many?
We made that scene together.
Oh, okay, cool.
About the immigrants and detainees.
Ah, right. Oh my god, excellent. Would you like me, we've been doing like a fun setup where we have like it presented and we shoot above. Would you want me to put a camera here and then I can show off the zooms while you guys are talking?
That sounds great.
Yeah? Okay,
ス
excellent.
クリーンの中の一部に人物として、サブチャー記者のことを一部映すみたいなのがいいんじゃないかな。
Our very professional machine right here. Yeah.
Oh, it's already done. Right on.
Yeah.
Make it all the way on the table. Cool. And then, oh, that is okay, that's a great setup.
Alright. And then, so we'll have the interview here, we'll have the zines here, and then we'll have your photos up there. Is that okay?
いやいや、ジンがそこに左側にあって、写真が右にあって、そのファッションが左下に写ってるっていう感じで。
私こうやってめくるから私手に
She actually likes to flip through the pages as she talks.
Oh,
to
okay.
talk about each section of the team.
Okay, great.
Maybe could we? Is it interview or is it
No, if it's all right, you'll just
Yeah. They
Oh,
can
cool.
talk.
But
So
maybe
now translate.
could we flip the? Could we have you guys sitting here, and then just like we'll have you guys flipping, or maybe should we just try to find a little table and do this up there?
Maybe I can sit here. I can read through the pages according to her directions, and they can sit there.
Excellent.
Because I don't have to be on the screen. I just translate.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, cool. And then the mic will be in that camera.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, super cute.
俺こっち座って、で、佐藤ちゃんとキキちゃんそっち座って、で、佐藤ちゃんとキキちゃんがページめくってって言ったら俺がめくってみたいにすれば、佐藤ちゃんとキキちゃんはそこで話して、で、画面には俺が映って、で、俺が翻訳してみたいにできるかもしれない。
私はここにいればいい。
いや、佐藤ちゃんとキキちゃんと一緒。
でも若木さんいないとちょっと不安じゃない。
いや、だって俺ここにいるもん。
Thank you so much for being flexible with your time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
でも栗吉君の時は
そうだからその時はだからそっち行けばいいだけど誰かが陣をめくんないといけないじゃん
そこにカメラがあるから陣をめくる若木さんがめくるってこと
これでここに映るわけよ
Yeah.
そうそう
See?
これああいう感じ
Alright, I'll rotate. Oh no. I'll rotate it.
おー超イケてる私さでもこれ私が見ながらだから無理じゃないやっぱり2冊なんだ
そう
やっぱ無理だよだって私がこうやって見ながら説明するの覚えてる記憶で曖昧だからやっぱ無理だと思うよそっかじゃあなるべく画像を出してもらう
でもこれで映せばいいじゃんだからそっちで例えばだって俺がさこうやってじゃあ次このページのやつでこうやって映すじゃんこうやってじゃあその話してくれれば俺はこうやって映す
いやだからどういうこと
だからサラちゃんこの一個一個のセクションを話したいよ
まあ簡単にね
だから例えばこれ映してで俺はこうやってやってでサラちゃんが話して
私がこれを読みたいわ全部の文言を覚えてないもちろん私が書いたものじゃないものがたくさんあるから当然
2冊はないの
2冊ありません
そうなんだ
だからまあ前のやつを置いといて適当に写してもらってもいいし
いいんじゃない
まあこれはでも絶対話したいから、それはまあ説明
それは後ですよ
あと一番後ろに置いといてであとなんだっけ
Are you guys doing this regularly in Japan?
This is the first time, yeah. It's been crazy. I mean, like, as you saw, we just had, like, somebody rapping. We had somebody talking about fabrics today. And, fiber artists. Now we're doing
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's been, like, a good...
it's not like you
Fiber
guys...
artist, we had a live drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been cool.
So it's not like you guys own this building.
Oh, no.
Not at all.
We were invited to be here by 16. So it's like a skate shop, clothing store, but then they also do like to pay for the art space. They sell things. Yeah. So it's like a nice. And they flew us out. He's cute. He's nice. Yeah. Yeah.
初めてだからね。これ
ね
やるのはね。
ここでも日本も
日本初めて
Yeah. But hopefully we'll be back soon. It's been great.
でどうしても映したいときは俺にパッと映して俺がパッと映す
ちゃんが普通にこうやって持ってこうやってやってもいい。
やってもいいよ、したってで楽でしょなんかさ、そうだ、同時通訳でやってもらうことでもいいです
それは全然大丈夫 So if they sit there and as they talk, I want to translate. And if I sit here, so will I pick up both
Yes.
voices.
Yeah.
Okay, good. そう、俺がここに座って、さだちゃんそっちで話して、さだちゃんが話して、俺がトランスレートしても同じマイクで拾える。そうそう。
This microphone will be for you two, and then for you, this camera will be close enough to you that it'll pick you up.
ビデオでさだちゃんが話して。
エイトボールのステートメントめちゃくちゃ私も共
She
感
really loved the statement of the 8 ball
すごい超気が合うと思う
because it's really hard to find that kind of viewpoint in Japan.
That is kind of in talking to you. That's kind of what we saw. And we spoke with you, and we also talked to a girl who makes dance. She's from Hiroshima, and she came to the fair, and she said the same thing that like a lot of
広島から来た子がなんか8ボール的なやつがあんまじゃなくて辛くてっていうのを広島から来たうちに作ってる子が8ボールのバージさんとかに言ってたんだって、だからそう広島から来た子が、
And the talk yesterday was really inspiring.
Yes.
For me at least.
昨日のトークも超インスピレーションがすごい良かった。自分にとっては特に良かったです。
Thank you. Yeah. It was amazing. It's fun.
She's relieved.
Yeah, no, well, it's
yeah. We are so grateful.
It was the highlight of my trip here because I think about this stuff a lot, and just to have somebody like 7,000 miles away from me like feel the exact same way is like really.
すごい遠くの距離だけど、彼と同じことを感じている人がいてくれて、今回の旅の中でこんだけの。
It's dope. It's like really cool. So thank you. Oh yes, that's for the library.
Oh, super cool.
Can
I move this over here? Is
Yeah,
that
you
okay?
can move all my shit actually. And then. Okay, and then media source.
フェミニストのユニークなミュージ自身の声っていうのも、まあ今までは短期事故の中ではね、2人がやってくるのやあんましなかったから、それも必要だったんだけど、まあ球団とかっていうよりも、まあ必要はあったんですよ。
結構きっかけがそういうこれさ、番号とか言わなくて1号目とか適当にやってくれるうちらは最初だけして
あ、今さんのやつあるじゃん。あ、そうなんだ。
その後は指定してないでもゆめがやってくれる
Bottles? Oh, do you want extra waters?
Yeah, we would
For everything. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Did you just ask her to bring some water bottles?
Yes.
We actually have one, so. Yeah, water あるよね。Sorry.
No. It's totally me.
指定した場所ってここで言ったの
So I have all the images playing on a slideshow, like right up here. Yeah. So I can pull some up if we need to go into detail, but I have them just kind of scrolling by, and then the images are right here.
基本的にはそこで次々にその画面が変わっているような定期的に同じペースで変わってて特定の画面を見せたかったらそこで行くこともできる。
Yeah.
あ、そうです。これ見てみて。いいね。キッちゃんのやばいじゃん。キッちゃんが言ってんじゃん。そうだね。So if they want to talk about a particular slide, can you just go to that slide?
Yeah, I can. So you can be right here. I'll stick right here, and then I'll pull up the images.
Okay,
and stuff.
thanks.
Cool.
言ってくれれば必要なところに飛べるから行ってねっていう。
You might need to help me with finding the right one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
何枚スライドあるの？10枚ぐらい。
20枚ぐらいある。
20枚ぐらい。だからまあババババってフリップして。
まあ適当でもいい。
And just to let you know, there's a little bit of a delay on the TV, but that's what the feed, the live feed looks like.
なんかそのテレビに映ってて話してる時にちょっと遅れが出るけど、それはライブフィードの特徴だから気にしないでね。ちょっと遅れが出るけど、ライブフィードだから通信で遅れちゃうの。
Cool. Sweet. Use the back.
Okay, cool.
Sweet, but it looks great.
Stretch.
Yeah, sitting here.
How many programs do you guys do in a day?
Today.
This is like the so there should have been other sections.
Today we've had, this is like the 6th segment.
Yeah, this is the
6個目のセグメント。6個目なんだって今日。That's kind of
Crazy.
stretch too.
It's been nonstop. Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'll be over here.
くまるさんのやつ映せるのすごいいいね。だからやっぱり海外の人に伝えたいよね。
And we are going to, so this is live now, but we'll also, I don't know if Mason already told you, we will also
Archive
it and edit it and send it to you.
Thanks.
Or send it to
これ
Beck.
アーカイブしてくれて、後でデータくれる。
わあ、Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
このペラペラめくってる時に興味のあること。
So she wants to explain each section of the zine, and if you're interested in a particular section, she wants you to stop her, and then you guys can have a conversation about that particular section.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Are you telling them that I love your style?
あのね、すごいそのスタイルがすごい大好きだって彼女、バージョンさん2人の洋服すごい好きだよ。
There you go.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want me to? Well, you know how to do the slides.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be, let me do some stuff. Oh, ooh, forgot about that. Too much stuff.
加トちゃんのさ、帽子の色がパープルだからそうそう。
後ろがブルーバックだ。
Alright, so cool. I'll, So when we need to upload an image, I'll go through so like all this stuff. So cool. Sweet. Yeah.
It looks like there are more than like 20 slides she prepared.
Okay.
Yeah. 20以上あるスライドが。20以上スライドがあるそうです。
Cool. Alright. Alright. And then the video. Let me get that really quick.
ビデオをなんか流すとか。あれブースの映像か。
So I'll mute that for right now, and then when we talk about it, I can put it on.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
ブースのこと話すときにブースの映像も彼がアップしてくれる出してくれるから言ってねって。
We learned from yesterday. Yeah.
昨日それを学んだ。
All right. Cool. I'd appreciate. Could you do a?
Slate it?
Yeah. Could you slate it and then so it's recording now, and then you can give like a brief introduction, and then we'll pass the mic over, and then get started. Cool. And recording. Could you bring the mic over to me? Oh, yeah, I know. That's fine. I'm just doing to link up the audio. You just go. Yeah.
But how do you link that up with the video?
Oh. Good point. Good point. Wait, bring it back. Bring it back.
You can it'll link up the two audios, definitely.
All right. Cool. All right. There we go. And saw it. Anyway. Cool. Go ahead.
謎のマイクチェック中。
Hi, I'm Basil from Maple, and this is.
サブちゃんの名前、キキちゃんの名前は？
And from Bang. They're gonna talk to us about their work. Thank you so much for being here.
ありがとうございます。今日は来てくれて。
Arigatou gozaimasu.
これはもう始まってるんですね。
So this is already starting?
Yes.
Okay.
今回東京アートブックフェアでなんか賞の話をさせたんですけど、東京アートブックフェアタレントアワード。
So we received the Talent Award at Tokyo Art Book Fair for our booth, which is called the band, right?
8ゴールの皆さんに選んでもらった人と一緒に。
And we think we were chosen by the people from the 8 Ball, and we were honored by it.
まずはステートメントが一応出ていて、ピアノシティガールの略。
We have a statement about our booth, so first we'd like to talk about that statement.
ステートメントを読みますね。
それすぐ訳せるかな。
ピアノシティがフェミニズム最高、法律で決められた性別の境界線を攪乱する姿勢の人。
ちょっと待って、そこまで訳していい? I have to translate that sentence first, right? So the statement starts with the word be a nasty girl, and もう一回言って、境界線を攪乱する?
境界線を攪乱する姿勢の人。
So we want to create a zine that disturbs the borders of the established standards of the society. そして?
メッセージグッズなどを販売します。
We are also selling the various kinds of goods that carries our messages.
女と男って何だろう?
So what are men and women?
その間で揺れている人はいないことになってない。
So aren't we supposing in Japan that there are no one who is wavering in between those two categories?
社会が求めてくるカッコつきの女らしさは一体誰が決めたの?
So who decided what it means to be feminine in this society?
このブースでは押し付けられたジェンダーロールからは解放された世界を作ります。
So we want to create, present a world and lifestyles which are free from those standards imposed by the society in this booth called Bang that we presented at Tokyo Art Book Fair.
トラブルを起こそう。スマッシュパトリアージ。
So make a trouble and smash patriarchy. That's our statement.
Yeah.
で、まあこれは今回このブースは私ともう一人谷直樹さんっていう
So we planned this booth with one of our friends who is running a burrito restaurant in some part of Tokyo. and she's organizing a community in that restaurant.
その人と、まあ、私が中心となってセレクトを行って
谷さん、名前出してんだよね。
あ、そう、谷さん。
Yeah.
So her name is Naoko Tani, who is organizing a community in her burrito restaurant, and she and I are we planned this booth together.
私とまきちゃんと、まあ、今回選ばせていただいた人たちは全員、まあ、インクルーシブで、インターセクショナルなフェミニズムとかクイア
So our standard was an inclusive and intersectional feminism,
選んだ感じで、
strictly.
で、ちょっとじゃあ読み上げとこうかな、今回選んだ人、まあ、ニューエラレディスは私たちと
So I'd like to introduce other people who presented their zines in our booth.
で、あとクライムパブリックス、あ、ごめんなさい、CIP ブックスっていうのは静岡のインディペンデントの
I think you Sharpie Books? CIP Books. So one of the people who presented their zine was CIP Books from Shizuoka. 誰? So the other person was Maki Kusumoto, who is a mangaka, cartoonist, who is really famous. We also had Adachi dare? Mariko Adachi and Akko Gorilla, who is a famous rapper, female rapper. Akko, don't say female rapper, she just told me. She's just a rapper. So, we never say that to a man, so.
Energy.
アメリカのアメリカの出版してる業界のところから雑誌を直子さんが仕入れたりとかして。
So Naoko, one of our friends who planned this booth together, imported other zines from the States. No nani? No lady swears. どっちの lady? Lady? Lady?
あ、レディ
Lady. No lady swears.
とか、あと少年屋さん。
さあ、あんま細かいと訳しきれないかもしれない。So anyway, there are many other people creative people who collaborated with us to create this booth at Tokyo Art Book Fair. And I'd like to show this green thing, green page.
I had it. Here we go.
The next one.
Hi.
Okay.
Cool.
Anyway, this is the list of the people who collaborated with us for this booth. Some groups are formed by the sex workers in Japan. Other groups represent LGBTQ publishing. And there are other people who are Korean migrants in Japan. And we try to include mainly the people who are independent and not associated with the corporations and big powers. And that standard was important because we are feeling that even these events like Tokyo Art Book Fair could be incorporated or usurped by the big corporations very easily. So through our selection, we wanted to make a statement about what kind of culture we want.
自分の気持ちを資本主義とか周りの大きな声に生まれないように頑張ってる人たちもこの中にいるし。
So being famous is not necessarily a bad thing. Even famous people can also be against the capitalistic incorporation of these cultures. But we try to be mainly about independent projects.
物としてすごく綺麗とか完成度が高いとか、結構そのアートブックフェアでも割とよく見るものだと思うんですけど、まあそういうものとかよりも割とその熱意とか
思想が近い。
So we try to put the enthusiasm over perfection. So the work, the zines, for example, do not have to be perfect aesthetically. It has to be also なんていうの？アート的にパーフェクトっていうだけじゃなくて、そのスピリットが、It also has to be philosophically close to us, and that was really important, as important as the artistic quality.
谷直子さんも言ってたんだけど、人種日本だと日本語がやっぱりメインで、私も日本語2人とも日本語しか喋れないし、でもその中でじゃあインクルーシブとかインクルーシブ
We only speak Japanese, so we are constantly struggling with the doubt that we may not be able to be really inclusive, but anyway, we try to be inclusive. And being inclusive in Japan always involves being open to the Korean migrants in Japan. And also, we also had American friends, Chinese friends. Also from Europe. But we put particular emphasis on being inclusive for our friends from other parts of Asia.
やっぱりそこは階級を今ある階級の権威に飲まれたくないっていう気持ちが、権威に飲まれたくないっていう気持ちがすごく強くて、なんか例えば
I'm really passionate about not being usurped by or incorporated by the class power or authorities in society. Authority associated with the class power in Japan.
だから日本の中でもマイノリティとされてしまっている在日の人とか。
There are people who are branded as minorities in Japan, such as Korean migrants.
そういう人たちとやっぱり一緒にやっていきたいっていう気持ちが。
We always want to be together with them and to work with them.
そうですね。で、ちょっと今日来てくれる予定だった人一人来られなくなっちゃったんですけど。
One of our friends was supposed to be here today, but she couldn't come because her friends had to go to hospital. She is publishing the zine titled BGU. It's a free zine. And the BGU zine is really important to us because it's created by a girl named Yume. She told us that she wants to tell stories about the queer people, and even though she was raised in a rather privileged environment, she wants to Yume-chan queer だよね? She wants to represent queer identity in zine culture in Japan. And she was supposed to be here today.
いや、すごいところは、BGU 人の原宿のラフォーレの前とかで、 通行に入れて
Yume is really great because she actually goes to the in the middle of the city of Harajuku. It's like a fashionable city,
Yeah.
and she distributes her zine
Good.
alone.
Wow. So cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
彼女は、新宿の2丁目の、バーで働いてて、その時
She's working at one of the bars in Shinjuku. It's a particular area where there are a lot of LGBTQ people, and there's a
yeah.
community, and she's working at a bar.
セクシストがいっぱい来るから
But there are also sexists
Ah.
among the
レズ
customers
だとか言っちゃうよ。で、レズって、ど
who
こでもそうかもしれないけど、別称だから、
talk about lesbian people disparagingly, and she's annoyed by
レズ
it.
って言った人に対して、レズビアンだからって突っ込んでいくタイプの。
So she, even as she, works at a bar, she always, she doesn't hesitate to, admonish the customers when they are sexist.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
で、そういう子がフリーでやってるってことはやっぱすごく重要だから、今回その子が本単賞が来てほしかった。
That's why we really wanted her to be here today, but she couldn't come.
I
Yeah.
hope her friends are okay.
まあそんな感じで。
ゆめちゃん元気だといいね。よかった、大丈夫だといいねっつって彼女。
そうだね、
そして、なんだっけ、一応今回これがうちらの最新で。
This is the latest edition of our zine.
Here we go. Is there a copy?
The title is New Era Ladies.
そうで、このレディースっていうのは多分海外だと紳士淑女の淑女が多く思われると思うんだけど、
So
これは
the word ladies may sound conservative, but in our cultural context, it actually refers to the ladies biker gangs in the suburb. So it doesn't mean ladies. It actually refers to a particular type of biker gangs, female biker gangs in Japan. Yeah.
そうだからまあ
お行儀よくない。
ない。
So
良くても別に全然私はいい好きなんだけど。
being polite is okay, but we don't necessarily want to be polite. So
そこからはみ出ることが多く、それでなんか阻害されてきた。
and we don't really fit the cultural molds of Japan. And we have been in trouble for not being conforming to those standards of the Japanese society. And so we rather wanted to be explicit about our being different. And that's why we created this zine. Zine nakami wa.
あ、そう中身は、まあこれは拡張性で。
Here I have a tune for the system of patriarchy. And then on this blue page we have my favorite quotes from Agnes Varda, a famous film director. Then we have a line from a performance artwork by Dumb Type, a Japanese art group. それは誰から寄せられた? We also have a message from Korean feminists. If I explain everything, it will take 24 hours. So maybe you guys should stop me.
で、これ麻生太郎、今日そうさっきね、麻生太郎ってことだけは覚えて帰ってほしいんだけど、アメリカのセクリストナンバーワンって多分トランプ。
So then we have a quote from Taro Aso. He's a famous LDP politician in Japan. And if Trump is the #1 sexist in America, Taro Aso is like a #1 sexist in Japan. So we have a quote from him to criticize it.
実際にインターネットの投票でぶっちぎりナンバーワンだった男性ですね。
インターネット何の投票?
インターネットの、性差別発言の政治家
There was okay. まあいいや、先行こう。
で、そしてプッシーライオット。
Then we have a quote from Pussy Riot of Russia.
まあ、麻生太郎の悪口を書いてあって。
Then we criticize Taro Aso, the minister of Japan.
まあ、自分たちがやった反セクシズム外世の話とか。
And we also talk about the
私は黙らない。
anti-sexist street rally in Shinjuku. それはなんかそうラリーが珍しいってことを言った方がいいよね。そういうフェミニストのラリーすごい珍しい。
かなり久しぶり、70年代の盛り上がりから、かなりスポッとこう。
So the feminist rally we talk about on these pages was held recently, but it was the first feminist rally in since the 70s.
Wow.
So it hasn't been many feminist rallies on the street. And there were many very precious people who have been continuing the tradition and the legacy of feminist struggles, but we are taking it up again and try to come out with it again. それを説明しにくい。
新宿の真ん中で若い子たちが自分の経験、こういう性被害に遭ったとか、そういうことすごいもう言うのめちゃめちゃ勇気いったと思う。
So young people who are our friends came with us to the rally and they talked about their experiences of sexually assaulted or harassed in school or in workplaces in the middle of the Shinjuku city, and that was really rare.
でそこに来た、人たちがそのスピーチを聞いて本当に涙したりとか。
And the people who were listening to those speeches were also crying. People who just happened to be there in Shinjuku. And we were amazed by the strong reaction by the people, and we thought that was kind of what we expected, because there are so many people who could not really speak out about their really bad experiences about harassment and assaults in Japan. And that's what we talk about in that scene. その陣で話してるの。
まあそういう凱旋を経て、自分たちも辛いんだけど、この後最後に話してもらうんですけど、日本の入国管理問題、入国管理局の問題も。
Another issue we talk about in this scene is immigration policies in Japan. There's a person I recently met who is a Nigerian woman. She had to flee Nigeria because there is a practice of female circumcision in Nigeria. So I thought, even though this Nigerian woman who fled female circumcision,
Yeah.
店大丈夫？あ、これ？でもこれ見ても日本語だから。
ここで喋る私。
It's actually Japanese, so
まあでもこれ後でイミグレ
just so
ー
we
シ
have
ョン問題は
an idea.
また後でつながる問題なんですけど。
エリザベスさんのことでしょ。
そう、エリザベスさんのことをちょっと後でまた話しますけど、
I'd like to talk about Elizabeth, who is
す
a
べての女性
Nigerian
を解放
woman.
せよって自分たちは思ってるんだけど、やっぱりこういう人たちは日
We
本にい
want
るんだってことを
liberation
忘れ
of
ちゃいけ
all
ないっていう
women
ことを、
in Japan,
まあここで少
but
し解
we
釈
don't want
を
to
して
forget about a person like Elizabeth, who fled female circumcision and who is facing harsh immigration policy in
で、
Japan.
ここでは、今回のそのちっちゃい副題としてボーダーランドの浸透圧っていう
これ訳してくれるんだよね。
あ、そうなんだ。じゃあいいか。
So we have a subtitle. 何で言う？
ボーダーランドってわかるでしょ。
そうね。So I'd like to talk about the subtitle of the scene, which is osmotic pressure in borderland. Osmotic pressure is like a technical term.
ボ
So
ーダーラインは国境になっちゃうから、よりそこがこう
anyway, I wanted to
強く
use the word
線引きをしている
borderland
感じがしてし
instead of
まうので。
borderline, because borderline sounds like it's separating two things, whereas borderland sounds more kind of ambiguous and it designates an ambiguous area.
曖昧な
between two countries or
どこ
between
とも言えないよう
different
な
sexual identities.
で混じり合いながら
That's why I
いろん
wanted to
な
use
女
the
性
word
たち
the
と
borderland.
いろんなクイア性別が越境する人もいれば性別がまだ決まってない人
Borderland is an area
一緒に
in my
やってい
imagination
くんだっ
where
ていうよう
queer
な
people
気合
can interact with
み
each
たいな
other
のを
without being bound by strict borderlines. That's why I had this subtitle. たくさんだね。
盛りだくさんすぎる
I love to talk about.
Yeah. Lots of push.
そんな感じで、まあ、バーッとこの辺とアフターフィルムとかこれは
This is
プシライオ
This is Pussy Riot. キキちゃんの作品楽しい。
これ作品の
ギャラリーで
これこそこっちで見せたいよ。
あ、そこにね出てる画像があるの、まあ、
画像ある。
画像これだと見せないんだよな
見えるでし
画像があるんですよ
ょ。いや全然見える全然見える。
ギャラリーで、展示してた作品の一部なんですけど、
This is one of my artworks.
これはドール、リカちゃんとかバービーとかのドールを使った
I created an artwork with the Barbie dolls.
フェミニズムのデモ隊っていうのを作ったことがあって、
Barbie dolls of feminist street rally. So it's an artwork where feminist Barbie dolls are, protesting. Yeah.
私は、ネットのブログで、車椅子を使用している女の人のブログを読んだ。
I was when I was creating this artwork, I was reading a blog by someone with disabilities. で
その人が小さい時に、
When she was small, she was really hurt by the fact that she couldn't find a Barbie doll who looked like her in a wheelchair. And she was shocked. That's what I read in that blog, on that blog.
で、今探しても日本だとなかなか手に入らないんですよ、車椅子の場合。まあだけど
It's really hard to get a Barbie doll on a wheelchair like this in Japan.
だけど絶対入れたいと思って。
I really wanted to include it in my artwork.
なんかプロレスのフィギュアみたいなやつ。
So I know. This Barbie doll originally, when I purchased it, was looked like a professional wrestler or something. 車椅子じゃなかったんでしょ。
そうそう。なんかまあ一部なんかそのおもちゃの一部としてついてるんだけど、まあそれをまあ可愛くしてデコって。
So I rearranged her clothes and presented her as a protester. And now she's part of our protest.
It's okay.
怒っちゃう。この次が
あ、まあこの辺はバンコクとか
And on the next page we have a quote from Laverne Cox and Inclusion Rider.
言葉が載ってて、でここではフェミニズムのトークが始まって、
And then we have a conversation by the feminists about 何について about the situation of feminists in Japan.
ちょっと盛り上がってきたなと思ったらすでにバックラッシュが始まりまして。
So there recently was an apparent resurgence of feminism in Japan, but then right after the resurgence there was already a backlash. And there was a guy who was saying on the internet that she was stabbed by a feminist on the train. Of course it was a lie, but that kind of stupid backlash already happened, and that's what we talk about on these pages. There was also fake news about a guy who tried to help women on the train and was treated as a 痴漢と思われた groper. So there are many kinds of reactionary fake news about feminists being rude or being unfair in the society, but all those fake news are of course fake. So we talk about that. The other topic we are passionate about is discrimination against the sex workers in Japan. And as we have this new emphasis on feminist demands and issues, there also seems to be a kind of new discrimination against the sex workers. So we are also against discrimination against sex workers. So we talk about our slogan, sex work is sex work. Sex work is work. That's the word, right?
そう、今回は自分の iPhone を使ってセルフィーを
So this is my artwork also, and I created this artwork with my iPhone. You know.
メイクとズラをかぶって
I put on a wig and interesting makeup.
Yeah.
これで見えんじゃん。反射してるけど。
反射しちゃってる。一応画像送ったんだ。おじさん。
それは、簡単に言うと、自分の顔っていうのは、自分が選択して手に入れたものではないけれども。
So the motive behind this artwork is that even though my face is not what I chose for myself, it's really central to my identity. And
けど他の顔だけじゃなくて、例えば体とか人種とかそういうもの、決められたもの、誰かに決められたものっていうものから解放されたくて。
And I think my gender identity or race are also like my face, because I didn't choose it. I didn't choose them for myself, but I tend to identify with them, and I want to be free from them, but through them, and that's why I made this artwork. And I want to make those racial, or not racial, but ethnic or gender identities, I want to make them my own by making these artworks. That's why I made them. Yeah. Okay. Do こかで聞かなくていいの？まあ7時10分だから。
質問があったらどんどんください。
So if you guys have any question about these things, please stop us and ask questions.
Okay.
なんか面白いところがあればってことだよね。彼女なんかクエスチョンあるって。
You talked about gender identity and the borderland and spaces between the ends of the gender binary, and I'm non-binary, and I wanted to ask about gender queerness or non-binariness or gender non-conforming identities in Japan, and whether that's common or rare or difficult, or if there's a community that exists, or just general trans issues in Japan?
ジェンダーの、私は自分自身がジェンダーのどっか女かどっちかっていう二元的なアイデンティティで自分でもそうじゃないから、日本にそういうコミュニティがあるのかどうか、そういうイシューっていうのは日本でどうなっているのかを知りたくて、特にこの今回の陣でボーダーランドっていうどっちでもないエリアっていうことを話してたから、日本でそういうカルチャーがあるのか、そういうコミュニティがあるのか、そのノンバイナリーなどっちでもないっていうその2つに必ずしも分けないっていう姿勢について、どういうそういう文化ってあるのかっていうのを聞きたいなっていう。Thanks so much for such a wonderful question.
そうね、ちょっと飛ばしますけど、このワイフっていう、ページは、実は、日本の、なんていうのかな、LGBTQ の、なんていうのかな、集まるエリア、新宿2丁目がそういうエリアなんだけど、その中のレズビアンバーで起こった、トランス女性排除問題がありまして。
So there was recently important incident in Shinjuku related to the non-binary sexual identities or queer identities, and that's 説明しちゃっていいそのワイフの起きたことを。新宿で起きたあれだよね。レズビアンのイベントだよね。So there was a pretty famous lesbian event in Shinjuku, and one of the friends of the person who was supposed to perform in that event went there. The person, she's a trans woman from America, but she was denied entry because she didn't really look like a woman, right? So, and that caused a really big controversy in Japan, and that has been really important issue recently about the non-binary sexual identity. Of course, there was a lot of protest against this denial of entry to the party, lesbian party, party strictly for women. But what does woman mean if the party excludes a trans woman?
された女性とかその周りのお友達とかは、クエアのコミュニティを粛々といろんな人とつながっていたので、じゃあうちらも超楽しいパーティーやらねみたいな感じで、新しく、できたのがこの Y っていうパーティー。
So the friends of the person who was excluded from that party try to start a new party, a different party, which is inclusive and intersectional and non-binary, and that's this new party. So there's going to be a new party. So people should come. Yeah, it's a really cool party.
これはどういうことがあったのか、そのインタビュー、そのバイクを作り上げたメンバー。
And because I wanted to spread the information about this party and what happened and the spirit behind it, I asked the people related to this party, organizers, to talk about the development of the events in that scene. So you can, if you can read Japanese, you can know the details of the incident and why they wanted to start a new party, waifu.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
結構これは聞いてみたいんだけど、こういうのを掲げているものってアメリカではよくあるの？
She wants to ask if there are parties like waifu, which is non-binary and which is insistently non-binary and really inclusive in America. Are there those kinds of parties in America? And that's what you want to ask.
Yeah, I would say that New York. I'm also like a queer person, and a lot of how I learned about.
僕もクイアでニューヨークにはあるかもみたいな。So there those parties in New York, which is really inclusive?
Yes, there are. Since there's been an amazing resurgence of parties like Bubble Tea. There's an amazing venue called Spectrum that caters specifically.
バブルティーとかスペクトラムって言われてるそういうパーティーとかベニューが
That did a
あ
lot
るん
of
だって。
important work in involving non-binary queer artists to host in the space. It gave a lot of queer DJs and femme DJs their first.
クイアの DJ もいるし、アーティストもいるし、ノンバイナリーな人たちがいるようなパーティーとかベニューがある。
Because I'm guessing just like here in New York City, there is still very much in the LGBTQ+ community a hierarchy where gay men kind of take priority over other minorities.
LGBTQ のLGBTQPT のニューヨークのコミュニティの中でもその LGBTQ の中に上下関係みたいなちょっとまだあって、どうしてもやっぱりゲイの男性が上に来がちっていう部分もまだあってっていう。
Because
It's actually the same in Japan.
Yes.
Mostly.
Yeah. It's despite there being a lot of visibility for queerness now, it's usually only in the perspective of gay men.
クイアの人の可視性、ビジビリティというか見える社会の中で見える感じっていうのが高まってきてるけど、可視性が高まってきてるけど、それがゲイの男のゲイマンがゲイの男の人っていうのがやっぱ中心になりがちなんだよねっていう。That really makes sense. There are people who are really eagerly waiting for this type of party in Japan. I myself, I'm so far a heterosexual cisgender person, but the organizers of this new party wife also invites a person like me who is cisgender heterosexual, and they are really trying to be truly inclusive, and I think that's great.
私もセキュリティだから誰か嫌な気分があったら言ってねみたいなシステムがここにあるんだけど、例えばそのインクルーシブなパーティー、そのアメリカニューヨークであるパーティーは、そういうその、セクシストやセクハラとか痴漢みたいなのがいた場合はどういう仕組みになっているの？
I really want to know what you guys would do in those parties in New York if there is a groper or someone who is, sexually transgressing, because we have the kind of problem here, and at Waifu we will have a sticker of for the security, but the sticker we can use, any of us can use and wear to show our determination to have a safe space. So I really want to know what you guys, what kind of measures you guys are taking in those parties in New York.
Yeah, I think that is one thing that I've noticed here specifically. Our men are way more just very aggressive in the way that they kind of talk to women here.
なんか日本に来てちょっと気づいたのは、男性は結構女性に対して話すときに結構アグレッシブな感じがあるよねっていう。
Even last night, I was going to a party with some friends of mine that are women, and people on the street were just immediately harassing them.
昨日もパーティー行ったんだけど、なんか男の子たちとも一緒に行ったんだけど、すぐになんかちょっとハラスメント的な場面もあったりして、すごい良くないよねっていう。Exactly, absolutely.
でもそうめっちゃ困ってるし。
That's exactly what troubles us.
だからコミュニティの中でセキュリティもらったりとかもするし。
That's why we came up with this security sticker in the community. 佐藤ちゃんがオーガナイザーじゃないからね、ワイフのね。So I am not one of the organizers, but these organizers of the waifu party are really interested in creating a safe space, and I am sympathetic to their principles. Yeah. I was also once なんて言えばいいんだろうね、サトちゃんの場合ね。I was also once groped by a stranger in a club. This is the first edition of our zine, New Era Ladies.
Yeah.
And in this first edition, one of the main topics was my experience of having been groped at a party.
Yes.
Nani? So that's why I have this illustration and the words crush the balls.
クラブで使いにあったし、そしてこれはなんで私たちがフェミニズムでやろうかと思ったかというと、社会運動とか政治のことをやってたんだけど、その
I try to explain why I started feminist movement in Japan in this first edition of the zine. My reason was that I was already with the liberal people back then, liberal men, but very few people were actually sympathetic to my feminist cause when I started it.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to start a unique feminist voice and its expression as a zine. That's how this zine was born in Japan.
I see. I mean, completely agree. It's very important work that you're doing.
すごい大事だよねっていう。
I think going back to your original question on how people in New York
最初の質問に戻ると、
fight against that sort of
ニューヨークでそういう
aggressive male behavior in clubs.
男性のアグレッシブなのにどうやってニューヨークで戦っているかっていうことで言うと、
A popular one is charging men more to go to the club.
Charging what?
They charge men more to
Men
go to
more?
the place. Yeah.
男性の方を料金高くするっていうのが結構よくあるやり方で。
But also, one that I find very effective is there is a written consensual agreement at the entrance of the door that you have to recite
あともう一個効果的なのは
security upon entry, so you can't deny that you weren't aware of the rules that were
入り口にもうここに入るからにはこういうルールをちゃんとやってくださいねっていうそのハラスメントとかについてルールが書いてあって、で後からだから入ったけどそのルールがあるって知らなかったとは言えないようにするっていうルールがあるっていう。
There's a verbal agreement that takes place.
いいね。
I think that sort of immediate accountability makes men and people with more power in a space more aware of the space that they occupy in that.
その男性が自分たちが占有しているスペース、持っているそういう占めているスペースっていうのの問題について直接その場で説明しなくちゃいけないっていう状態にすることがすごい効果的だと思うっていう彼の意見。
Yeah. And even if men do have good intentions, it's good to reaffirm those things vocally. You can be an ally, but you also need to be constantly cognizant of your own body politic, which is something straight men.
自分の体が持っている政治性っていうのを男性が常に思い出したり意識してその声に出すっていうことがすごい大事だと思っているっていう。本当ね、いいよね。She's really impressed by what you just said because there are very few people who actually say things like that.
That's alarming.
それはやばいです。ちょっとしか言ってくれないとやばいです。
男性の料金の方を高くするっていうのは結構日本でも別の意味であるじゃないですか。
クラブで女の子がたくさん来てほしい。なぜなら女の子がたくさん来ると男が来るっていう意味で。
So you just talked about charging men more at clubs, but we also have a similar practice, but similar but very different because we charge men more so that there will be more women in the club. So men will be attracted to those women and will come. That's the commercial strategy. So it's really different from what you just said.
Oh, they just hear it.
そういうのが。
例えば映画のレディースデーとか、あとランチが安くないとか、女の人向けの割引みたいなのがあるんだけど、もうそれが 差別だって今やイギリスのネタにもなってる。
So we also have, popular discounts for women at theaters and other places, public places in Japan. But often those rules are attacked as a discrimination against men.
フェミニズムを語ると、まあ最初に返ってくるのがそういう言葉。
So that's actually the first type of reaction we get when we talk about feminism in Japan. Discrimination against men.
作ってくれたこれは男性の
This
賃金に対して女性はまだ 73%。
This is created by one of our friends who could be here but who couldn't, Tani, and she. It shows 73 yen, the price. It's a price. It's the amount of money a woman can earn for the same amount of work time, compared to men who earn 100 yen. Yeah. So there's still discrepancy.
Hi. That's it. I think if there is one thing that I think is like really important for men in Japan to understand is that it takes a collective effort on their part to make sure that women that feel safe and included. It's one thing to allow women in a space. It's a different thing to actively carve out specific safe spaces.
で日本の男性がやっぱり理解した方がいいかなっていうふうに思うのはやっぱり女性をただその場にいてもらうっていうことだけじゃなくてそのセーフスペースをちゃんと作るとかそういうことをちゃんとやった方がいいと思うよねっていう。
Even in a space like in a space as open as something like the gallery space that we're in today, I think they can do a better job at allowing women skaters to be here. They don't sell any sort of like women-oriented skatewear clothing, and I have only seen one female skater since I've been here.
So you only saw one female skater?
Yeah, I haven't seen many.
ギャラリーみたいなところに行ったりしてもそのスケーターとか集まっててもその女性のスケーターっていうのはまだ日本で一人しか見たことがなくてっていうちょっと今うまく訳せたかわかんないけど、So it applies to every type of culture in Japan.
I think it's something that I try to be cognizant of when I help create spaces.
自分がスペース作るときはパーティーやるときとかも常に意識していることなんだよねっていう。
Is to make women included not just in parties that are, even though this is like amazing and needs to happen, like waifu and stuff like that, but just in general space, like a store or at
ワイフとかそういうパーティーもすごいいいと思うし、あとそれだけじゃなくてやっぱ普通のお店とかそういう普通の場所でもそういうのがあった方がいいよねっていう。
It's a collective effort.
そうでコレクティブエフォートだからみんなで集団的につうか集合的にちゃんとやんなくちゃいけないことみんなでやんなくちゃいけないことでその個人個人だけじゃなくてっていうそういう。
じゃあちょっとあとどのぐらい時間
How much time do we have?
結構時間
もう来てるよ。15分ぐらい
Well, we should end at an hour, just so we have like a fine.
Oh, 6 minutes.
6分。
そしたらすごく重要。簡単に話すと、これは
So in the remaining minutes, I'd like to introduce the other sections of my zine, and this new page is dialogue between two Zainichi Korean women in Japan, like Korean migrant women in Japan, who have always lived in Japan but who do not have voting rights. And today happens to be the last day of the national election campaign. And my friends who are Koreans do not have the voting rights still. So, and my Korean friends are talking about their struggles and hardships for being not included. And the next section is written by the other person who is also my friend who has cerebral palsy. She is working, but she is getting much less than the other people. She's actually getting only 1,000 yen for 1 month work. And she decided to go get a boyfriend instead of working, because by working she gets really little amount of money. We also have a section written by one of my friends who went to grad school and studied queer theory. We also talk about cartoons, because we have a big cartoon culture in Japan in relation to the queer issues. Anyway, that's how we try to include different kinds of people in our project. And finally, I'd like to also talk about the other zine I created with the group Free Ushiku, which is a anti-detention group in Japan. We also have a detention issues in Japan. Yeah, 俺ここで話せるよ別に。顔出したかおかんと。あ、そう？ごめんね。ありがとうございます。ページっていうのあったら言ってください。あったらからめくってします。すみません。すみません。あと今日トランスレート翻訳してくれた高橋若美さんですけれども、これは私はデザイン。translated for us today, and it actually belongs to the group, which is working for the detainees at the immigration centers in Japan. And I created this zine, designed this zine, written by the members of Free Ushiku. 収容者のために活動されている方々、これは私はメンバーではないんですが、彼はメンバーを作っていて、はい、で、その人たちがテキストを書いてくれたものと融合していって、だから中の人のメッセージ、中の人のアートワーク、手書きのものは全部そうです。Handwritten messages are written by detainees themselves. We have these notes from detention centers. And we also have essays written by the supporters and the activists. 昨日、この内容について質問があったみたいなので、ちょっと彼が高橋若美さんが答えられるので、よかったら。So yesterday, I heard from Kiki that there was a question about immigration. So I'd like him, which is me, to talk a little bit about immigration problems in Japan. So, what kind of things are you interested in when you ask the question? Did you ask the question?
Yeah. Specifically, I really have no background on it. So Who are the people being detained, and what are the circumstances under which they're being detained, and how long has this been an issue?
Yeah, there always has been an issue about the immigration in Japan, and she and Kiki were just talking about the Zainichi Korean migrants in Japan, and Korean migrants were the original ethnic group which were targeted by the immigration policy of Japan after the collapse of the Japanese Empire after the war. And then recently from the 80s, there are more Iranians, Brazilians, people from other parts of the world who came here to work, and we don't permit them to be a permanent resident in Japan. So when they, of course, violate the immigration laws, they get detained and detained indefinitely. There's no limit, time limit for your detention. Some people are detained for more than 3 years and under a very torturous, bad situation. They got bugs in their food, and some of them committed suicide. And actually, that's why we started this movement, because this guy, I actually wanted to show this character, Deepak Kumar, the guy who committed suicide in Ushiku detention center in Japan last year. He came here as a refugee. He had to flee his country, India, for some political reason, and he couldn't possibly go home, and he had to stay here. But the Japanese government detained him, and after 1 year of detention, so these are the placards of refugee. That's it. Remember Deepak Kumar? It's on the right top.
Where?
So
Which one is it? Is it this one?
黄色っぽいのとピンクっぽいのと黄色っぽいのと。
so that's it. Yeah.
Ah, too big.
Yeah, remember Deepak Kumar, 32 years old. He died. He committed suicide. He hanged himself in a shower room in a detention center in Japan, and that's funded by the tax money. And yeah, that's why we're protesting. Anyway, she wants to. She always wanted to include these people in her movement because being feminist for her, I think, means being intersectional, universal, and be sensitive to other types of issues like immigration. This was a white language.
Okay. Then we have to wrap up.
なんか最後にまとめてください。
最後のもう全員がフェミニストになるべきだと思うからベルトを見せてください。
I think everyone should be a feminist. That's what I want to say, which is what Kiki has on her belt.
Cool.
We should all be feminists.
Yay! Yes. Arigato gozaimasu.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Sweet. Ah. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Glowing.
Will you outro us?
Ah, yes, YPG, yes. Yes.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
She saw a movie about
Thanks for watching.
British.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.
Sweet. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is an amazing experience, and I'm so thankful to have you guys here. So thank you.
Please come to the party.
I'm leaving Monday, unfortunately. I know. But I hope it's a success. Yeah. Cool. All right, sweet. All right, cool. All right.
We actually have another act. That's why we have to wrap up.
What?
We have another act.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're doing the interview. And then we're leading into, so Kimmy's the first person that's on the exported video that I made. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap with this interview. We're gonna go straight into the videos, and then that's when we're gonna close out.
Cool.
All right, cool. Can I load them up really quick?
Yeah, I'll get out of here.
Okay, cool. Just give me 2 seconds. Let me just set this up, and then we're good to go.
Should we sit here?
Yeah. Here we go. Hi. Thanks for being so patient, dude. It's like much appreciated. Yeah, it's just been like a crazy, like one after the other, after the other, after the other. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, create new. We can just put it. Hey. Alright, cool. Find more videos. Yeah. There we go. Cool. Cool. I have it in the back. Cool. Sick. Okay, cool. Alright. There we go. Thank you. Sweet. Alright, cool. Cut this out. Open broadcast system. Yeah, OBS. Weird program. Dope. Here we go. Alright. Yeah. Thank you. Cool. Alright, so we got this, and then we got this. Cool. Alright. Sweet. Cool. Wow. Are you good? Alright. What? I know. Let's rock this up. Almost done. Alright, I'm just gonna hit the record on this. Then we'll get the audio set up for the final video stuff. Alright, Lord. Hello. And we have made it. This is fucking the last day of 8Ball TV X 16 Gallery here in Tokyo. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody here at 16 for making us feel so fucking welcome. These last 3 days have been so fucking sick and so fun, and I've met so many cool fucking people, and it's been a privilege to set up 8Ball TV and Outpost here. We got a bunch of crazy shit that we're about to, that we've collected since our stay here. We put them all together as a collage, and we're gonna screen a couple, including Heartbreaker by Kimmy here. Nice to meet you, dude. Cool. First of all, it's playing behind us, and it's gonna be playing again in a second, like audio and shit, which would be really cool. It's a fucking gorgeous film, dude. Thank you so much for bringing it to the space, and we're excited to have it as a part of our archive and be screening it on TV and shit. I was really interested in just how you got into, because we talked about both being filmmakers, and you went to school in America. I just want to know a little bit about your background and how you got into filmmaking, what brought you to making like skate videos, and other things that you're really interested in making.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
I first started filmmaking through skateboarding probably when I was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
And at that time I was just filming, shitty skate videos with my friends.
Right.
Nothing too serious.
Yeah.
And when I was 18, I moved out to LA to go to film school, and that's probably when I started like really thinking about film a little more.
Right.
And what I was doing with it.
Yeah.
And
could you maybe give us a little context about like the importance of like skate videos in like skate culture? I know like major people like Spike Jones and like I don't know, just kind of the culmination of skate vids in like the 90s and how maybe like YouTube helped kind of push it even further, you know?
Yeah, YouTube definitely did a lot for skate videos. Also hurt full-length skate videos a little bit.
Yeah. Quality.
Yeah. But I'd say like film within the skateboard community is very important because, well, at least like when people from the video part of it, like the benchmark is like where you stand as a skater, like how good you are. So I think I started filming initially because I wanted to give my friends video clips.
Got you.
So I had friends that were getting good and they wanted to do that. It's kind of like an outlet to help them. Of course, I had fun as well.
Yeah.
It was like, in LA, there'd be times or opportunities where I could film with other skaters that were pretty good, probably better than some of my friends, but I wasn't really that, I guess, motivated as much as I was filming with my friends, because like filming with your friends, it's, one, it's more fun, but two, you can like see how stoked they are when the project's finally finished.
Energy, it's like when you're like fucking good already and you know it, it's not. Got you, And that's another thing that I think is like really interesting about videos is it's like such a like slice of life kind of art form, you know, which is like really sick, like especially like just meeting crews that I met in like New York and shit like that, like they're almost like famous actors almost in a way, you know? Even if you're not the best at skating, if you're like funny as fuck, if you got personality, it like shows, which is like really cool.
Definitely, I think skateboard filming is like similar to documentary filming in that sense, you know, you're getting like, I mean, people act a little bit for the camera.
True. Like everybody does.
You still kind of tell like who this person is.
Right. How'd you get, so could you give us like a little bit of a rundown on kind of like how skate culture is here in like Tokyo? And maybe since you lived in LA, how different the two are.
Well, skateboarding is like, LA is kind of the birthplace of skateboarding, so it was pretty fun being out there. It's like a little easier to move around and not get in trouble so much.
Is it pretty like tense here?
Yeah, it can get, it comes in waves. I guess like when I first started skating, it wasn't too bad, but then I guess as more, skateboarding gets popular and more kids skate again, then you start cracking down a little more. Fluctuates. But right now, skating around like this area is pretty hectic. People have been cracking down. So, but the skate scene out here is like there's like less skaters in general, I think. So it makes the community a little more tight knit. You know, you see someone with a board, you can automatically like, okay, I got you. In LA, it's a little more like less personal in that sense, because like every other joke is a board. So.
It's kind of in New York. It seems like that like having like a board and shit. It's like a fashion accessory. It's like a guy's purse or some shit. You see when they're holding it, and it's like just completely like immaculate, like just clean. Exactly.
And we have some of that out here as well, but a little less, I guess.
A little less. Word. How do you what other? Because we're in 16, and it seems to be like a major hub in Tokyo for skating. What other shops in the area can you think of?
I only recently moved back here about a year ago, so I don't want to like claimed
Blow
super
everybody's
like.
life.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
grew up
no,
here,
true,
I grew
yeah,
up here,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's a skate shop like 16. I've been coming to it a lot. And
Yeah.
there's a skate
Why do you
shop.
think? Why did we come to 16?
I like it because they have skateboarding goods, but they also have a lot of like art.
Yeah.
Here they got zines and music, and the staff and the crew. Everyone here is just super mellow.
Yeah, no, totally. It's been like really sick. Why do you think what's interesting for me is because I mean like I don't skate. I hang out with a lot of skaters, but I mean like I'm really into art, and for me it's like a really interesting kind of dynamic to have kind of like art shows and skating in like the same space.
Definitely.
And it's really something that we don't even really have a lot of in New York. Like we've got a lot of streetwear brands that do collabs with like skaters and stuff, but it's different to have like full shows and start doing shit like this. In a skate shop, which is like so weird. You know? Yeah.
It's a nice mix.
Yeah. It's interesting. Cool. So maybe we can talk about your film here.
Sure.
What could you like introduce us to some of the people in the film? Like what it means to you, where you shot, like.
So these are 3 of my buddies. I work with 2 of them.
Yeah.
I work at the Palace store in Tokyo, so 2 of them are also on the Palace staff team.
Got you.
And this film was actually made for a film festival in Zushi, called the Zushi Beach Film Festival. It's like an anime film festival we do every year.
Got you.
And they approached me maybe a couple weeks before the screening, and it was like a little late this year. So we only had 1 day to film.
Word.
So this was all shot in 1 day in Shonan area, which is about an hour away from Tokyo.
Got you.
Yeah. And basically the idea is I wanted to shoot at twilight. The sky's like the most blue at that point.
Yeah.
And I put a red gel on in front of the light to like flash them out all the way like that.
Yeah, dude. It reminds me, going back to the Spike Jones, it reminds me a lot of the Flashing Lights music video, Kanye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like the immediate, like.
That's what I grew up on.
Yeah, true.
Spike stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
fucking same, man. Like,
Yeah.
the Intergalactic music video.
Yeah.
You know a lot
Yeah.
since I've been here, which is like mad corny. But yeah. Let's see. Could you? So these people are also part of Palace.
Yeah. So 2 of them are. One of them is just like a homie that I met on the day, which is really cool.
Gotcha.
Like a little younger than me, and one's a little older than me.
Cool.
Yeah. We're all just regular skaters. I thank them for skating in the ring, because that's never like really that fun.
Yeah. It's not good for your.
And like I said, we just have that 1 day to film, and we're gonna shoot it whether it was raining or sunny. But I think it actually worked in our favor that it was raining. So the lights reflect the wall, and it just looks pretty.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Just a little hard to get on the skate.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
Word. Alright, well, good shit. Is there any people you want to grab or shout out? Or
I guess just those 3 guys, Dax, and Shin. You guys killed it.
Yeah.
And everyone at 16 for supporting.
Energy.
KB.
Yes, fucking KB, bro. Alright, well, shit. Thank you so much for the intro. I'm really hyped to show not only this, but just like a crazy collection of Japanese filmmakers and artists, all these skaters, comedians. Like it's a weird hodgepodge, but it gives like a really good feel for what I think Tokyo is right now, which is like really exciting to be kind of a part of for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So, cool. Thanks everybody for coming through. Without further ado, let's get these fucking movies going. Cheers, y'all. Cool. Yeah. Let's see.